Hey guys, and welcome back to another speed build. I'm Cable.
And I'm Abel.
And today we are doing part 2 of Expedition Everest, so let's get into it.
Just like with the entrance video, the season is fall. We didn't want to go with summer just because fall kind of represents the Himalayas more. And so we went with fall. On to phase 1, it is the ride queue, so the line for the ride.
Yes, and what we did before is like the beginning part of the queue, and that was the part 1 video. So if you haven't checked it out, you should.
So we're getting the fence done, we're adding a little more decor, we're getting the actual gates and adding some lights.
Yeah, so we're doing this fencing, and then we'll actually have a rope fencing as well. And this part of the queue line is outside. The first half of it is supposed to seem like it's inside, because for the actual ride, the first half is in like a museum sort of atmosphere, and then you go outside towards the actual the track.
Right, so again, here's just the rope fencing, and right here we're going to be adding the plane party line lights.
Yeah, we just wanted to add a little bit of pizzazz to the entrance.
And on to phase 2, the ride and the landscape.
So we already put down the tracks. It is a custom design, and now we're setting out some simple panels that are just the design on those is just black, because we want it to give the illusion that you are going into a cave. So we did the stone arch as well.
Right, this speed build did actually take a while just because we really wanted to replicate Expedition Everest. We wanted to get as close as we could to the actual ride itself. So for the, what do you call them?
The ride carts?
For the ride carts, we got the
bus seats.
The bus seats.
They look like pews, but they're not. They're bus seats.
And we got a custom design on those, and we got the mining carts to kind of get the in between each cart.
Yes, the connection between each one, which those could also work for another ride. You know, 7 Dwarves Mine Train. But
that is true.
That's another build for another time.
Another story for another day.
So
we're just trying to place them accurately here because you don't want to get it too close to the tunnel to start the ride.
Yeah. And so, oh look, we found a
colored leaf DIY.
Woohoo.
There we go. All right, we learned it. We learned it. On to the landscaping. The name of the game for the landscaping are hedges and fan palms.
Fan palms, a lot of fan palms. But we wanted to give the sense that there's a lot of just natural nature at the bottom of the mountain, because it was difficult for us to find something that would camouflage the edge of the cliff to make it look like the base of the mountain. So we're just actually just adding greenery instead.
We're actually adding a natural base.
A natural.
Like if you went to the real Everest. So with the fan palms, we wanted to rotate each one individually so that way it wouldn't look uniform or hopefully not structured in any way. When you actually look at the mountain itself after the speed build, it should just look like a bunch of random palms.
Yeah. So we're just twisting those, and then we're going to add what is it? A bush?
A bush and then lights.
Yeah. So there's our bush.
And wait. This bush is the only bush
The only.
we used for the speed build.
For whatever reason, I don't know.
It's our special bush. That's all I have to say about that. All right, moving on. Now we're getting to the lights. They're green floor lights. We did this just to illuminate the fan palms.
Which you might be thinking, you can't really even tell that there's lights there. Just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait.
You wait.
There's a reason.
We will get to that.
There's a reason for everything we're doing in this.
There's a method to our madness. Moving on, we're still placing the floor lights, so we can't move on yet. This is the last one. We had 4.
We had to like chip away at the cliff a few different times to make sure everything would fit.
There were actually 5. All right, we are moving on to phase 3, which is Mount Everest itself.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
And so we did, you'll see that there's a lot of different items we use, which these standees actually got really annoying because they look smaller than the actual space that they take up. So you can't put a lot behind it.
You really have to work around them. You can't go through them, you gotta work around them. But anyway, we added 3 standees, and then the mountain. There's the base of the mountain. It is gray.
It is gray.
In Expedition Everest, the base of that mountain is gray.
Don't worry, we'll have a snow-cap one later on.
Will we?
Maybe.
Will we?
Okay, so we're adding some lights. Again, you're gonna see that it seems like we're adding a whole bunch of just random stuff in random places, but it's not. It's organized chaos.
Technically, it is a bunch of random things in random places, but it makes sense when you actually look at it. So there's a Yeti, guys. We added the Yeti, and it looks like the Yeti is tearing up the track.
Because in the actual ride,
he's tearing up the track.
That's what happens. Spoiler alert.
And then you go backwards.
Spoiler alert.
Into blackness, and it's great. It is awesome. It's fantastic. So more floor lights. With the actual mountain build, we wanted to add a lot of lights just to illuminate the mountain.
Yep. Because whenever you go to Mount Everest or Expedition Everest at night in Animal Kingdom, it's all lit up and it looks really cool.
It really does. It's awesome. Here we are adding a cave.
A random cave. That it will make sense.
Everything makes sense. Well, it does make sense now, but it will. It will. And here we are adding a snow-capped mountain.
The dormant volcano.
Dormant volcano, right?
If you're
not a mountain.
Wondering.
Well, I guess technically it is a mountain, but it's dormant. So that is the top of Everest, and now behind everything, we're gonna add studio spotlights. The colors are gonna be purple and not red, purple and pink.
Pink.
Purple and pink. Just to give it more of an ominous, you're about to climb Mount Everest. Not really climb, but you're gonna take the ride.
You're gonna take the ride.
And see the Yeti and enjoy the scenery.
So just a whole bunch of spotlights.
We added a lot of lights just to kind of illuminate every spot we could in the background to make it look more prominent, to make the mountain look more prominent.
Yeah.
Thus making it look more epic.
And I realized after we did this build that we were touring another island and there was actually a different type of Animal Crossing item for a mountain that we didn't have, and I was really jealous.
But that's okay. So we're at the walkthrough for the Expedition Everest entrance.
And this section was part 1. So if you haven't checked out that speed build, we recommend it.
And now we are getting into the queue.
The queue.
The line for the ride.
And you'll have your first view of the mountain. You see some of those lights and then the fan palms.
You can barely see the Yeti.
Woohoo, he's hiding.
Now,
we're getting onto the ride.
We're done waiting, and of course, we have to go
front row.
Front row.
Some rides it's the back. This one it's the front.
There is Mount Everest in all of its glory with the Yeti, who's tearing up the track.
Woohoo! And then there's the exit. But we're not going to go that way.
To the Tree of Life.
We're going to go back onto the ride and enjoy it.
Yep. There's the fantastic scenery for Mount Everest, Expedition Everest.
We hope you enjoyed this speed build, and until next time.